So we get rid of Bush, and we elect. We have a charismatic one-term senator run for president who allows this country the opportunity to smash through a significant racial barrier that we had struggled to smash through for perhaps decades at this point. And in Barack Obama. Now, people forget this, but in 2008, Barack Obama ran against Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton ran the most racist campaign against Barack Obama. Far more racist than when Mitt Romney ran against him and when John McCain ran against him. She's the one that started birtherism, Hillary Clinton. She released photos of Barack Obama in a turban in order to start a political conversation in this country on whether or not he was American. That's a fact. That is a fact. And as Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings. She did that shit. She ran one of the most racist presidential campaigns in the, well, really, she ran a very racist campaign because there was no way before to run a racist presidential campaign. But she ran a very racist campaign. She lost because that's all she ever does is fucking lose. But she lost. And we elected the guy who had gone around saying we need universal health care, we need a jobs program, we need to tax the rich. Sound familiar? We need to restructure corporate boards in this country so that more workers sit on the boards. Sound familiar? Socialism! It could never win! And he won by one of the most historic margins in the history of the country. Twice. And you know how much of that he did? Dick. Because he is a liar. He is a liar. He is a calculator. He is a PR project for a whole bunch of marketing nerds that graduated from fucking Yale and decided to, turn Barack Obama into the Apple brand of politics. That's what happened. And then boom, that runs us right up against Trump-Hillary. And we all know how that went. Somebody ran a campaign saying, we're going to look how bad he is. In fact, if you will read the WikiLeaks emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign, her and her staff were both saying, well, we really need to elevate this Trump guy because if we elevate the worst Republican, worst as far as he's the most unelectable in their eyes, he was the most repugnant, he was the most disgusting. If we run that guy, then it'll be easier for us to win in the general if they run him because he's such a cretin. Not thinking about the fact that so is this whole fucking country. Everybody here's a cretin. And it just so happened that the cretins in this country went, oh, well, at least he's honest about being a cretin. At least he's real with me about this shit. Yeah, he's a Yankee asshole that should have got his ass whipped years ago, but, he cares about my job. Cares. And of course, Trump was completely full of shit. Completely full of shit. Trump said we were going to get universal health care. You got universal health care? I sure don't. He's completely full of shit. But he was the one saying it while Hillary was saying, that could never, ever happen. Universal health care will never, ever come to pass. That's what she had to say about it. And Trump went, no, for sure, we got to get everybody covered. In fact, I've been to Ireland. My buddy broke his arm while we were playing golf, or hurt his arm or something while we were playing golf, and it was so nice. He just went to the hospital, got fixed up, And we flew back, and he was good. No bill, good to go. He said that in an interview on a late night show. The man promised universal health care. He promised to, now, again, total shit. He's full of shit. And he eventually he either A, got co-opted by the corporate interests of the Republican Party, or he just was full of shit to begin with. So it doesn't matter. The outcome is the same. It's just like the argument that people have about Hitler, which is like, was Hitler really an anti-Semite? Or did he just recognize that it worked for him and followed that on to the end? It doesn't matter. The outcome is the same, right? The Holocaust still happened. So it doesn't matter, right? The outcome is the same. And so Hillary just absolutely ate shit, completely ate shit in the most winnable election of all time. I mean, just completely ate shit. Like, full time. And we ended up with Trump. And here we are again with the Democrats running the same strategy, which is, look how bad this guy is. Look, he's bad. He's and orange and bad and very bad. And look at us. We think black people are human beings. And we hear you. And we see you. And we feel the way that you feel. Right? That's the Biden campaign. The entire DNC was, look how, oh, I'm talking about the election, but in a very, very roundabout way. So no, they aren't what? The Democrats? No. I'm reading. But I might be behind you, though, because my internet is garbage. If you're they are better, is the Democrats are better, or Biden is better. Sure. But so? Like, so what? Better how? What is your definition for that? Oh, okay, that's not what you mean. Well, yeah, but that ship has completely sailed. Bernie has, I talked about this last week. Bernie has internalized the idea that it's his fault that Trump won. Because the media, and that's true. Yes, I am absolutely drinking cheap beer and talking shit. That is absolutely correct. I talked about this the other day on the stream. So yes. Okay, so hold on. I'll talk about that in just a second. Hold on. I want to finish the election thing. So I think we're going to end up in a very similar situation, which is Joe Biden is going to narrowly win, narrowly lose. It's going to be a very close election. But at the end of the day, Trump is going to win, and we're going to have to re-inaugurate this asshole because he's going to claim victory, and nobody will want to violate the norms. Nobody's going to want to push him, right? Nobody's going to want to push back on the idea that he's just going around telling everybody that he won, right? And so we're going to end up with weeks and weeks and weeks of this being tied up in the Supreme Court and everybody complaining about it on CNN and all that bullshit. And then come the middle of January, nobody will have been willing to break free from the Cubs and the Yankees played yesterday, and the Cubs say they won, and the Yankees say they won. I guess we'll never know. And the media is never going to be able to break out of that mindset. And even if they did, nobody's going to believe them. And so nobody will be able to push back on Trump's claim that he has won. Right? And so we'll just end up with 4 more years of Trump. And even if we don't, we are going to have a crisis after Joe Biden. Even if Joe Biden gets elected, and let's say from a leftist perspective, Joe Biden gets in and he does everything that I wish he would do. That's great, but that's not what's going to happen. What is going to happen is Joe Biden is going to get into office and he's going to do a bunch of milquetoast bullshit and austerity where, well, we just spent all this money on coronavirus relief. Look at the deficit. We can't possibly spend all this money. I mean, come on, guys. We got to be real here. We just spent all this money bailing everybody out because of coronavirus. Who do I want to win? I would prefer that Joe Biden wins if I'm given the choice, of course, right? Because I'm not an accelerationist. I don't think that it's worth throwing the country into the garbage disposal in order to get socialism. Because I don't think that we're organized enough as a left in order to get the socialism after 4 more years of Trump. I think that instead we'll just keep spiraling down the fascism funnel until we're all just in camps, And so I would rather that Joe Biden wins and we have somebody who is at least like on the political wins, and is at least trying to is at least looking at polling and gives a shit about what regular people think, and maybe we have a better chance of improving society. I think that it's a big toss-up. Yeah, Kanye would be lit because it would be the apex of just American insanity. It would be the end of capitalism personified. It would literally be exactly where we've been headed for about 30 years, just happening and perfect. But, that's impossible now because he's not on enough ballots and it just can't happen. But, yeah, so, the Joe Biden presidency is almost a little scarier because if Joe Biden gets into office, what are you even drinking? This is strawberry Bud Light seltzer, which is just Bud Light's attempt to bite into White Claw's market share. But anyway, I think, and it's pretty gross, actually. But if Joe Biden gets in, we are going to have 4 years of austerity and democratic neoliberal bullshit, and then an actual competent Trump, Tom Cotton, Crenshaw, the douchebag that Sagar and Jetty loves, Josh Hawley, those guys, those are going to be more competent versions of Trump that are able to get in and do actual fascist shit effectively. They won't fuck up the paperwork. They won't fuck up the documents that they have to turn into court and shit. They'll actually get it right. Whereas Trump has done nothing but bumble and fumble all through his presidency. Yeah, he's gotten some horrible shit done, but for the most part, he's failed at doing a bunch of the horrible shit that he wanted to get done because he's a moron. And they don't, dot the I's and cross the T's. But the next guy will, because they will learn. They will learn from this asshole. And so here we will be, 4 years from now, running Kamala Harris against this guy, against whoever the next guy is, which it will be a guy. And we will be fucked. We will be fucked. So either way, it's a loss. Either way, it's a loss. But in the short term, I think that we can mitigate the damage done to our most vulnerable, maybe. I don't know. I mean, even this argument now, it really hurts me to make. But we have two choices, and you have to make one. And I think that people need a way to justify what is happening to them and what is happening in our system. And so the justification is, A, we got to get a little bit of a hold back on our judicial system. Otherwise, we're just completely fucked forever. And B, we've got to slow down the immiseration of the most immiserated people in our society. And I think that the only way to do that is to elect Joe Biden, given the choices. because I think it's purely an accelerationist argument to re-elect Trump, hoping that at the end it will be so bad, 4 more years, it will be so bad that we will get the left socialist outcome that we are looking for. So we're going to spend November in a constitutional crisis, in a media crisis, and a health crisis. I mean, you could just not watch it. In a health crisis and a media crisis, and we will be probably, that would be dope, actually. That would be dope. DM me and I'll send you my mail address. You can send me a pack of Xanax. Yeah, oh yeah, the world is definitely going to explode. And here's the thing. None of this happens anyway, and I'm wasting all of my time by talking about this, because the aliens will have landed and vaporized us sometime in October anyway. So, who cares? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Pizzagate, QAnon, save our children, hashtag save our children. Okay. This is an intricate problem, okay, that will take me a second to unpack. I talked about this on a stream a couple of days ago, but I thought about it a little more, and I think I can get it down to a real idea. This country has a real child sex trafficking problem. Clearly, it is real. The existence of Jeffrey Epstein and his homegirl, who is never, ever going to turn on anybody, and we're all just coping by imagining that she's going to do anything that will reveal any sort of powerful people being involved in this. Because of their existence, and because of the fact that we're not stupid,